The most dangerous man in the room is rarely the one shouting for attention or the one scrambling to please the crowd. While the alpha is busy posturing to maintain his social rank and others are looking for a script to follow, the sigma male is simply calculating. People do not fear his strength, they fear his intelligence because it operates on a frequency they cannot tune into. It is a quiet, surgical form of brilliance that remains invisible until the moment it changes the entire game. If you have ever felt like an outsider because you prefer observation over participation, you are likely sitting on a dormant power that most people find terrifying. Stay until the end of this video. By the time we finish, you will understand the exact psychological triggers that turn a Sigma silence into a weapon, and why his ability to bypass social permission makes him the most unpredictable force in any environment. Sign number 1. The Sigma male begins in a dormant state where he appears almost ordinary. He's the quiet observer who accommodates social dishonesty simply because it is easier than correcting it. He seems cautious, perhaps even passive, as he lets others lead the conversation and soak up the spotlight. To the untrained eye, he is just another face in the background. The trigger occurs when a crisis hits and a vacuum of leadership opens up. As the stakes rise, the people around him begin to spiral into a state of panic. They demand answers, they look for reassurance, and they waste precious energy trying to manage how they are perceived by the group. The pressure of the unknown causes the collective intelligence of the room to drop. The activation is immediate and chilling. The Sigma male suddenly withdraws all explanations. While others are begging for a plan, he stops talking entirely. He realizes that explaining his decisions to those in a state of panic is a waste of metabolic energy that should be used to shape reality. He has crossed an invisible line where he no longer requires their comprehension to move forward. As he maneuvers with total independence, the people around him feel a deep sense of fear. They realize their confusion no longer holds any power over his trajectory. And while the alphas are still using loud intelligence to manage optics, the Sigma has already secured the exit. There is much more to uncover about how this silent intelligence operates when the world falls apart.
Sign number 2. Before the pressure reaches a boiling point, the Sigma male appears almost indifferent to the social dynamics of the group. He allows others to vent, complain, and perform their emotional dramas without interference. Most people see his lack of reaction as a lack of awareness, assuming he is simply too detached to understand the nuances of the room. He looks like a passive bystander who is content to let the loud intelligence of others dominate the space. The trigger occurs when emotional chaos begins to spiral. As a project fails or a social structure collapses, the average person becomes a slave to their own reactivity. They use outbursts and panic as a way to demand attention or shift blame. The room becomes a storm of emotional static where everyone is shouting but no one is listening. The activation is what truly disturbs those around him. The Sigma male does not mirror the panic, he decodes it. He treats the outbursts of those around him as actionable data rather than commands. While others are drowning in their feelings, he's using their reactivity to map the real issues and adjust his own strategy. This sudden shift into a calculated composure causes immediate fear in others. They realize their emotional manipulation has zero effect on him. By treating feelings as mere metrics, he dominates the high-stakes situation because he is the only one in the room acting on understanding rather than impulse. Sign number 3. In normal conditions, the Sigma male's timing seems out of sync with the crowd. He is the person who doesn't laugh at the joke immediately, or the one who takes a long beat before answering a simple question. The crowd often mistakes this for social awkwardness or a slow wit. He is overlooked as someone who just can't keep up with the fast-paced wit of the alpha or the frantic energy of the group. The trigger arrives when a crisis demands an immediate, knee-jerk response. The herd rushes to perform stability, making hasty decisions just to feel like they are doing something. The vacuum of information causes the average man to scramble for any solution, no matter how flawed, just to stop the discomfort of the unknown. The activation reveals a strategic gathering of clarity that others have already sacrificed. The Sigma male ignores the social timing entirely. He delays his reaction long past what is comfortable, staying silent while the chaos swirls to observe motives that are invisible to the reactive. His silence acts as a mirror that causes the false confidence of others to collapse. They realize he is calculating moves they cannot yet perceive, and this delay lulls rivals into underestimating him. By the time he acts, it is with a disproportionate impact that ends the game before others have even finished correcting their own hasty mistakes. If this resonates with how you operate, leave a comment below about a time your silence was mistaken for weakness.
Sign number 4. Under ordinary circumstances, the Sigma male is a man of few words, often regarded as someone who simply has nothing to say. He provides the basic facts when asked and maintains a polite, if distant, transparency. People assume he is an open book with a limited vocabulary, never suspecting that his quietness is actually a sophisticated filter. The trigger is a high-pressure negotiation or a power struggle where information becomes the primary currency. In these moments, most people overshare out of a desperate need to be understood or to prove their value. They leak leverage through their need for validation, offering up their truth as a way to build rapport or find safety in numbers. The activation is a surgical shift in how he handles reality. The Sigma male stops treating the truth as a casual courtesy and begins using it as a tool. He reveals only the specific facts that move his mission forward or protect his position. He understands that total transparency is a liability that can be exploited. This calculated restraint creates a massive informational asymmetry that terrifies his peers. They realize they are being systematically directed by information they can neither verify nor counter. He stays 2 steps ahead of the narrative, ensuring his victory is secured long before he chooses to announce it to the world. Sign number 5. In a calm environment, the Sigma male is often seen as someone who oversimplifies things, perhaps even lacking the intellectual depth to appreciate the nuances of a complex system. He watches as others build elaborate spreadsheets, hire consultants, and debate the finer points of a problem. The crowd sees his minimalist approach as a sign that he is checked out, or perhaps just unable to grasp the big picture that the alphas are so loudly discussing. The trigger is a sudden escalation where a problem becomes so convoluted that it paralyzes the group. As the crisis deepens, the average man responds by adding more layers of bureaucracy, more meetings, and more emotional drama. They mistake complexity for intelligence and busyness for progress. The entire operation grinds to a halt under the weight of its own overthinking. The activation is a brutal stripping away of everything that doesn't matter. The Sigma male ignores the chatter and instinctively reduces the situation to its purest essentials. He pulls the single thread that actually controls the outcome. This surgical focus disrupts the expectations of those who thrive on drama. While the group is bogged down by unnecessary procedures, he is already moving. People find this terrifying because his efficiency renders their effort irrelevant. He becomes a force that operates faster than others can comprehend, shaping events while the crowd is still debating the rules of the game. Sign number 6. Under normal conditions, the Sigma male appears to have no strong allegiances or public pride. He doesn't brag about his past achievements or hide behind prestigious titles. He seems to have a modest, almost forgettable reputation. The average person who is obsessed with building a brand or being liked assumes the Sigma has no standing because he doesn't work to maintain an image. The trigger is a moment of extreme consequence where the right move is also the unpopular move. This is where most people freeze. The alpha is trapped by his need for admiration, and the crowd is trapped by their fear of social rejection. They would rather fail together than succeed as a villain. They are prisoners of their own public image. The activation is the moment the Sigma male destroys his own reputation to secure the win. He sheds the parts of himself that no longer serve the moment, prioritizing raw capability over the weight of your expectations. He is willing to be the bad guy if it is the most effective path to the objective. This brutal adaptability causes fear because it makes him impossible to predict or control. He has no ego to bruise and no status to threaten. He exploits opportunities that rigid thinkers, trapped by their need to be admired, completely miss. If you've ever been willing to walk alone to get the job done, you know this power well. Sign number 7. In his dormant state, the Sigma male is the ultimate follower of none. He doesn't seek a seat at the head of the table, nor does he challenge the current leader for their title. He sits at the periphery, content to let others hold the gavel and the glory. To the group, he looks like someone who lacks the ambition to lead, a quiet professional who is comfortable being told what to do. The trigger is when the official leadership fails. A crisis hits, and those with the titles are the first to freeze or flee. A vacuum of power opens, and the average person begins to panic, looking around for someone, anyone, to give them permission to act. They are waiting for a vote or a sign of status before they dare to move. The activation is the Sigma male assuming command without seeking permission. He fills the vacuum immediately to organize a functional response, bypassing all social hierarchies. He leads functionally, without the need for an ego boost, and the moment the situation stabilizes, he releases command just as quickly. This sudden authority breaks the power balance. It scares people to realize that while they were waiting for a title to grant them the right to lead, he had already reorganized the reality they were panicking over. He wins because he is a crisis-activated strategist who secures the outcome while others are still debating who has the right to speak. The loudest voice in the room is a target, but the quietest mind is a king. Thank you so much for watching.